Hey everyone, Dr. Zio here again, and today we're here to talk about Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2, Episode 3, Missing Pieces. And this is a good episode. But yeah, let's just go right into it. As always, our summary, likes, no dislikes, a minor gripe, but not really dislike, conclusion, and our questions of the week. So yeah, this was a good episode. It introduces us to Oculo, a very important monster who's going to be able to help Void Knight in his quest to get all the sporks, because he has the ability to look at a long distance as well as see through objects. So he's going to be a very important element in being able to find spork speeds within Pine Ridge, and that is his main function throughout the episode. He gets into a few fights with the Rangers, but he doesn't really do too much. Then we have Slider, of course, with the grade A plans. This time around, he finds this memory mixer, basically a wheel, in the bottom of Area 62. And this plays into their plan because in the middle of the battle, he'll use the memory mixer on the Rangers to jumble up their memory and implant new ones. So, for instance, earlier in the episode, the Rangers meet up with Javi and Izzy, get a call from Solon that there's a Sporix beast there's a Sporix in the area. So the Rangers go around the corner and they see, yes, there is a Sporix, and then I think Slither, Mucus, and Oculo teleport in to grab it, and then a fight ensues. While the Rangers get there, Slither uses the memory mixer to jumble up their memories, and think that instead of finding a Sporix, they actually found, I think they called it a juicy pickle or big juicy pickle. And so that kind of gets used throughout the episode, somewhat seriously and somewhat for comedic effects, but still very effectively to kind of throw the Rangers off their scent. And yeah, it works. It works very well. But essentially, the episode kind of starts off outside of Area 62, outside of that scene of introducing Oculo. We go back into the base of the Dino Hinge, and hey, Solon is actually getting that software update she talked about in the previous episode. And then the Rangers are kind of looking at the galactic or the universal map this time. They're looking at a whole map of the universe. And Zado says that, they need, in order to find Ravcon, Solon is looking for the Ravcon's three sons. So Solon gets up off the table, goes over to the thing. She says, no, that's not right. That's not the location for the three sons. So she's made a mistake here that kind of plays into later on in the episode, because now the Rangers are kind of on edge, right? This is a very serious issue, and they kind of don't really trust her, especially with all the memory mixing going on. After this, once the Rangers get back from their pickle battle, Solon, tells them that, they tell Solon, hey, all we found was a pickle, and she's like, that doesn't seem right. Maybe we should refer to some news sources to see, what actually happened, or to corroborate this information. And they're like, no, we're good. And man, what's his name? Ion's being a dick. Gives her the third degree, right? Or is it the second degree? I don't remember the exact saying. But he basically calls into question Solon's own memory and says, how can we trust that, you're talking about our memory, because you're the one who messed up, trying to look for Ravcon's three sons. And it was so rude and out of character for Ion. I get this might be a touchy subject, but it does kind of bother me that they didn't really address this later on, even at the end of the episode when everyone's apologizing to Solon for making her think that her memory was messed up. Ion, if anyone else deserved to apologize, it was specifically Ion, and he doesn't actually get that apology in. That's my minor gripe for the episode. But yes, Solon did find the Ravcon's three sons. So once Zado actually gets to the location of the three sons, he sees that yes, this is the location of Ravcon's three sons, but curiously enough, Ravcon itself is not in that location. So he starts, scanning for any sort of nearby signals or signals in the solar system, like transmissions, to see, maybe Ravcon has sent out a transmission or something along those lines. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Amelia is looking for a way to kind of soothe her shoulder, because I guess earlier off screen she had hurt her shoulder in a battle, and Ion actually brings, when she initially mentions this early in the episode, Ion takes out the light Dino key, the one that cures magical curses, because Amelia says that she made her neighbor mad, and she thinks that her neighbor's a witch. So he shoots her with the light Dino key, but it doesn't do anything, indicating that this is not a magical issue, and that, of course, your neighbor is not a witch. So, and Ollie was over here laughing about. He's over here like, of course. I swear, these two are great. But so when she's looking for like a massage or some way to kind of to help her shoulder, she specifically looks for a Buzz Blast video. So it's Jane and Jayborg in their scene for the episode where Jayborg is giving Jane a massage. At the end of that video, they point out the fact that the reason they came up with this idea is because they were doing an earlier report on a sports in the middle of town, and the Rangers came by, right? And so the Rangers get attacked, or the monsters get into a scuffle with the Rangers, and Amelia gets thrown against a pillar, and she hurts her arm. And then the Jane and Jayborg are like, hey, Pink Ranger, we hope that you see this, and hope this helps you out. So it confirms that, yes, they are getting their memories mixed up, and, Solon is not crazy. Y'all don't have to keep gaslighting this girl. After that, they get called back into battle because they have to go up against the Sporks. And meanwhile, we go back to Zado, who's still, out in space, and he finds that there's some sort of thing making a garbled up message, the same message we heard in episode 2. So he takes the transmission device, and then he has to go back to Earth because the Rangers are getting their asses whooped by Slither, Slither, Mucus, and, well, not so much Mucus, but Slither, Oculo, and I guess Mucus and the Henchmen. So once he gets there, Slither, uses the memory jumble thing to mix up their memories again, and I think instead of a pickle, I think it's a hamburger or something like that. I'll note it in the show notes or the video notes, but he mixes up their memories again. Zado gets there, he uses the light Dino key, which the light Dino key actually gives you an armor similar to the Shadow Battle armor, Electro armor, and the Blazing Battle armor. So I guess they're all just repaints of one another with a different insignia on it. But basically uses that to restore the Rangers' memory, and they continue to fight. And just as they're about to use like a combined attack, Void Knight pops up in a very good fight, which we'll go over here in just a second. But basically, Void Knight ends up beating them, taking the Sporks and going back to the base. He throws the Sporks into the machine, but it's not quite charged yet. He has like maybe 3 or 4 bars left, so we're getting close to Santura's revival. And we're back at the base. They all say their apologies to Solon, and then we jump into the fact that Zeta retrieved this message, and so they're like, okay, it's giving off like a garbled signal, and Amelia recognizes the fact that this is the same signal from episode 2. So Ollie's like, what if it's not just one thing, but rather a piece of a larger puzzle? So they play both messages at the same time, and it gives us, I guess, our season-long mystery, but it has a coded message in it, which I'm actually just going to read you real quick. Here we go. So it's a voice who says, to those who survived, and then it skips a little bit so that Ravcon could heal safely, skips a little bit, Ravcon, skips it, and then keep it safe. So at that point, we don't know what the full message is, we just have those fragments, but it sounds like something's going on, or something happened with Ravcon after the 65 million years ago, tuffle between the Sporks. But yeah, that is the episode, so let's go ahead and jump into our likes. The first thing I liked about this episode was the continuity from the previous episode. In the previous episode, Solon casually mentioned the fact that she needed to get a software update, and it's nice to see that in this episode, the first thing we see when we get into Dino Hinge is Ollie giving her that software update, and it looks like it helped. It helped them track down, Ravcon's 3 sons. Speaking of which, that's also continuity from the last episode, because without that last episode, we wouldn't have known that Ravcon had 3 sons, because they bring up the fact that they would bring up the 3-son festival. So again, I like that. It's really nice, and it kind of makes even filler episodes, or seemingly filler episodes, have a bit of importance to them. Another thing I liked about this episode was the sincerity when Zado tells them that he's going to go off to Ravcon. Ion's like, hey, you're not going to Ravcon alone. I want to come too. I want to see it. And Zado's like, I know you want to see it, and you will eventually. But right now, I need to go. I need you to stay here and help out the other Rangers. And then Ion's like, hey, just don't go lava surfing without me. Like, it was a fun little moment, and you could tell in that moment that Ion really misses Ravcon. We haven't really gotten any lamenting about the fate of Ravcon from Ion's part. We've gotten those kind of moments from Zado, but I mean, it should be obvious that yes, Ion cares about his home planet, but he's mostly been comic relief up to this point. He hasn't really dwelled on the fact that Ravcon's gone, so it was nice to get that little bit of a moment there. Oh, also the music here was really, really good. Again, Bert Sellen is killing it with this season. I'm very happy that he's been on board, and I hope that whatever they have planned for next year, he's on board for that too. Another thing I liked about this episode was Void Knight's appearance on the battlefield. Again, any fight with Void Knight I'm probably going to enjoy. This fight in particular was a more elongated fight compared to the ones we've seen him with in battles with the other Rangers, and this is the first time he's taken on all 6 Rangers at once. And boy, was it good. Because just as they're about to finish off Scyther, Mucus, and Oculo, Void Knight just pops up and just, ruins their entire day. He pops in, he's all, these sporks are mine. I'm sick and tired of you always getting in the way of my plans. And Zado was all, we'll never stop. And Zado was like, Void Knight's like, you will if I make you. And then, boom, he just rushes at them. And it's like, Void Knight's not playing around. He's close to reviving Santora, and he's done playing games. This man is all about getting his girl back, and I'm rooting for him. I'm honestly rooting for him, and I cannot wait until Santora's revived so we can get some more backstory on her and Void Knight and see, where they came from and what their whole deal is. And so my final like for the episode was the Ravcon puzzle. Like, I enjoy the fact that we have this ongoing mystery here, and I like the fact that it ties into the thing we got from episode 2. As I mentioned in my video covering the questions and answers we had from season 1, they didn't really bring up that message too often in the season. There was only one other instance in season 1 where they brought up that message, so it having a greater importance in this season is very much appreciated. And so yeah, in conclusion, it was a good episode. I don't really have anything bad about the episode to say. It bothers me that Ion never apologized for coming at Solon's throat like that, but I mean, it's not harming the episode at all. Just adding a little bit more depth to Ion. The dude's got a temper. The dude definitely has a temper. But yeah, anyway, it was a fantastic episode. 2 thumbs up from me. But yeah, on to our questions of the week, which really the only question I have for this week is, what's the message? Where are the rest of the pieces of the Ravconian puzzle, and what is the overall message? I have my own theory. I think that after that battle, in order for Ravcon to heal, they did something to make the planet invisible so nobody else could see it, and they would be shielded from the forces of evil while they rebuild the planet and do whatever they have to do to rebuild the structures that were destroyed in that battle. But I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this video. We'll see what happens. We'll see whatever answers we get. Eventually, we still have quite a bit of season 2 left over to go. But yeah, this is only the 3rd episode, and I am really, really enjoying this season so far. But yeah, we will see what happens in the future. Anyway, let me know what y'all thought about the episode in the comment section below. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Wear a mask, get your booster, and stay safe out there. And thank you again for watching. Until next time, peace.